We've got another question from Jay Andrews. All right. Jay says, Coach Ramsey, I'm a teenager in college that lifts weights. Okay. And trains in boxing, but I want to be more assertive around my peer group because I'm tired of one of them telling me what to do. But I'm held back by my fear of ruining relationships. How do I develop that alpha mentality? Oh, okay. I was going to take this question in a different direction until you said alpha mentality. But let's back up. We'll address the alpha thing in just a minute. Somebody tells you what to do, you don't want to do it. There's this magical word that has a lot of power. No. And then leave it at that. You ever hear a little kid protesting, "You're not my mom, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad, you can't tell me what to do." It's annoying if you're that child's teacher or something like that. Like, you're not the boss of me. But there's a certain wisdom there. And a certain inherent wisdom that even small children understand. The power of no. I am not beholden to you. Your words have no authority here. So there are these people in your peer group trying to make you do things you don't want to do, and you are afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid of not fitting in the group, afraid of being excluded from the group, afraid of alienation. Make your choice, pick your sacrifice. Do you want the fake friends, or do you want to do what you want to do? Learn the power of just say no. Man, I remember when I was a kid, how many times did I hear that on television in public service announcements during the war on drugs back in the day, man. Man, any American who grew up in the 80s and watched any amount of television understands what I'm talking about. They had these public service announcements, just say no to drugs, only losers do drugs. But just say no, that was the slogan. When kids at school come up to you and offer you drugs, just say no. Man, these public service announcements really made me believe that I would be offered drugs a whole lot more often as an adult than actually happen in real life. People just aren't giving out free drugs all the time, man. Apparently those things are expensive. But just say no. There's power there. There's wisdom there. But that second part of your question, the alpha mentality, I want to address that because this is a myth, dudes. This is a myth. This alpha mentality. Alpha human? There's no such thing as an alpha human. There's no such thing as an alpha wolf. Did you know that? The whole term alpha male, alpha wolf, beta, gamma, etc. This comes from some studies that were performed on wolves in captivity. And they noticed that these wolves in captivity seemed to create a hierarchy amongst themselves. And they started referring to the leader, if you will, as the alpha, and the subordinates as the beta, etc. But contrast this wolf behavior to wolves in the wild, and it's a different thing. Wolves in the wild don't behave like that. It's not cut and dry, alpha, beta, gamma, epsilon, whatever. They're not a bunch of Greek letters. It's different. It's much, much more nuanced than that. And human society, like I said, it's much, much more nuanced. You're dealing with choices and consequences of those choices. You're dealing with actions and reactions. These people in your peer group say, hey, do this thing I want you to do. And you're like, no, because I don't wanna, so I'm not gonna. And they're like, well, boo. We don't like you anymore. Did they ever like you? Were they ever contributing something positive to your life? It sounds like they're trying to drag you down a path that you don't want to go down. You don't need to make an excuse like, I'm not an alpha male and therefore I cannot be assertive. No, there's no such thing as an alpha male. Doesn't exist. There's a person who takes personal responsibility for his own actions and his own choices. There are people who act, there are people who react. Right now you're reacting. All the world's a stage, said Shakespeare. And all the people, merely the players or the actors, if you will. We want to be an actor on this stage. We don't want to be a reactor. Right? Make your own choices. Take responsibility for your own choices. How hard is that? It's the hardest thing in the world, man. It's the hardest thing in the world. But at the end of the day, it is the only choice you will ever make. Fish or cut bait, my friend. Fish or cut bait. Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train.